Go.
I'm Logan Sanint, and today I'm going to be talking to you about food and what it can do for your body. So, what I brought for you today first is a part of whole food steaks, which a lot of people know it's a little bit more on the pricey side, but for the most part, it's actually a lot better for you than just the average thing you find at the grocery store, because it's just the way that they take care of the animals are a lot better than the way that the other places do, because they have more hormones, they have more pesticides, they have everything all over the dirty food, and Whole Foods just does their best to try to manage that and reduce that in the best ways that they can. For instance, if you're going to McDonald's every day now, it's the college life. That's what we're all doing. Trust me, I did that for the first semester. The whole time I was doing fast food, and McDonald's, they were found out to be having antibiotics in their chicken, human antibiotics that are just killing our whole bodies right there. Because you're not supposed to be having antibiotics unless you're really sick, and even then, you shouldn't be doing it all the time. But they were found out to have antibiotics in their chicken, and so it's just why is it there? We're just wondering. And another thing that's surprising is, even though everyone thinks that Subway is a great place for food, and it always says eat fresh, and everyone goes there, it's the $5 footlong, you have everything that you possibly need, it's actually found that there's an item called azodicarbonamide, which is used to make the soles of shoes, it's used to make car tires, and everything. It was found in their white breads, and it's just also another thing that's just completely crazy to be putting in your body. A thing that concerns me, though, is that one of the reasons why I've had weight management issues in my whole life, and I'm just starting to try to balance that all out. So I decided to one day just take a trip to Whole Foods, try to learn everything that I can about managing my body, because in the past year I gained 60 pounds alone, and so I was just it's time to make a difference. And just in the past 3 weeks alone, I've lost 23 pounds, so it's been a great time. So one of the greatest things is Whole Foods. They don't have antibiotics in their food ever. They even advertise that on their own webpage, keeping everything so that way it's completely healthy for us. They have different steps, which are shown right here in all their meat products. And step one, the animals live in their space to move around, and they stretch their legs all the time. In step two, it's an enriched environment. Animals are provided with enrichments that encourage behavior that's natural to them. They get different foods that are meant for them, and they can get different activities, like pigs can get a bowling ball to push around, just to help build muscles instead of just being crated down. Step three, pigs, chickens, and turkeys might live in buildings, but they all of them get to go outside and have just some time to roam around. In step four, when living outdoors, the chickens and turkeys get to forage, pigs get to wallow, and cattle get to roam. And that's actually what this meat is. It's step four. I couldn't find step five. I was looking all over for it. But step five is the well-being of the animals is more important to them than just selling the product. It's effective, it's really good for your body. You don't have anything that's bad for you, like antibiotics. And step 5 plus, animals are centered entire life on the same farm, which means that they just, from the moment that they're hatched or born, they just completely live over there. They're not just being shipped from place to place. One thing that's good about Whole Foods is, even though they're not being required yet by law to have their shipment, their suppliers, they're not allowed to have their suppliers represent the GMOs on them, which are the genetically modified organisms. They're trying to push for all of their meat products in 2016 to have just the labels on them, so that way they know what's inside of their foods. They're one of the companies that's the most transparent in this whole country. So they're really good to their employees. They treat their employees. I know some of my friends, they work there. They're just, it's a really great place to work. Then I have this is actually like a little bit funny, but everything, every time you go into Subway, you think you're getting like a $5 footlong. You actually don't realize they're cutting out a little bit of they're cutting off an inch every single time, and you're not getting a full footlong.
The
It's on the
YouTube's on mute.
You
Mute.
it
The
That's not too loud.
clip.
Yeah.
Before you bag it, I want to see that for 1 second. It's just shy of a foot. You think we could make like a 1 inch on Italian? Hey, you're not making another one, right? Jerry? It's 11 inches. You guys make a 1 inch sub, maybe? I can get a 1 inch sub, like on Italian. Make up.
No, it's not.
You want to double check?
But if you look every single time, why are you paying for a footlong when it's really just 11 inches?
Wow.
What are you doing there?
Brilliant.
And so they just measure it by the paper instead of full time. So you gotta always be careful. Just even though a company like Subway, they see that it's a $5 footlong, everything is advertised by the calories, the whole combo meals. You just realize they're not even like giving you what you really ask for. Just like McDonald's with the whole antibiotics. Every single one, they went to, I forget how many different Subways, but all of them had the same thing.
Careful, it's loaded.
But the reason why that this is most important to me is my family, all 4 of us, my sister, my parents, and I were all overweight. I had during my high school years, I was the most in shape that I've ever been. I was running a 5-minute mile. It was insane. I had the best time of my life. But once college came, I just let myself go completely. Just started eating fast food every single day. It was just a nightmare for me. I didn't like that at all. I've been having salads with steak and chicken and just cutting back on my on my sugary products. And I've been drinking a drink called By 5. It has a lot of caffeine in it, but it has only 1 gram of sugar, and it's actually really good for you. And I've been drinking it instead of coffee because when I drink my coffee, I put like 3 sugars in it, and it's just so intense because that's like 42.9 grams of sugar, I believe it was when I calculated it. And so taking down 41.9 grams of sugar out of that, it completely reduced my weight drastically. Is there any question?